Welcome back to the Motivated Mind Show. I'm glad to have you here. Every single day, you face this uh, powerful kind of personal choice. It quietly shapes your future, really. Will you get smarter? Or, just stay where you are. And this isn't about some innate talent you're born with or like a sudden flash of genius. The research and what we're diving into today, it points to something much more basic, becoming truly smarter, sharper, more insightful. It's a direct result of small intentional habits practiced daily. While so many of us get lost in, all the digital noise, the distractions, sharp minds are actually building routines. Routines that strengthen the brain, boost memory, and bring real clarity to decisions. So our mission with this deep dive is to unpack these practical, scientifically backed, and honestly life-changing habits you can use to upgrade your mind. We want to show how these consistent small actions can lead to really profound growth, changing how you think, decide, and, well, how you live. We'll get into feeding your mind useful stuff, thinking more critically, making knowledge stick.
And crucially, turning information into actual wisdom that shapes your future. It's about stopping wasted time and really truly upgrading your mind.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, isn't just the self-help angle. It's the science behind it. We see it again and again in studies, cognitive psychology, neuroscience. The brain isn't fixed. It's incredibly plastic. It adapts constantly. So this deep dive, it really shows how we can use that plasticity through deliberate daily practices, moving beyond just general advice to specific actionable things you can do.
That's a key point. It's
Yeah.
not just wishing; it's building the architecture for being smarter. Which brings us nicely to our first big habit: training your brain daily by learning one useful fact. Now, our brains are amazing processors, right? Taking in info constantly.
Yeah.
But like you said, in today's world, so much is just noise, social media, gossip, endless distractions. What smart people do, and we see this in sources like, Atomic Habits, they don't just let random stuff wash over them. They are super intentional about what they feed their minds.
Yeah. Exactly. And the beauty of this habit is its simplicity. It's just committing to learn one useful fact a day. We're not talking about memorizing textbooks or tackling huge complex ideas right away. The focus is narrow. One clear, practical piece of knowledge, something you can grasp, remember, and importantly, actually use. It could be a statistic that changes how you see something, or a health principle from a solid study, maybe a money management idea from behavioral economics, or even just a truth about human behavior from psychology.
And the cumulative effect, one a day.
Right. Imagine 365 potent ideas in your head after a year. That's not trivia. It becomes this growing web of useful intelligence. Our brains, they love clarity. Overload just leads to fatigue, forgetting. But one clear fact: the brain can actually process it, store it, connect it to what you already know. And this builds discipline, doesn't it? You have to actively seek knowledge.
Yeah, you're making an effort, reading, listening.
Precisely. You're investing in your cognitive setup. Plus, think about conversations. You can add a fact, not just an opinion. People respect that.
Yeah.
It gives your words weight. Your brain looks for patterns, right? So feeding it these facts helps it link things. Maybe finance today, psychology tomorrow. Suddenly you see connections.
Like how money and emotions are tied together.
Exactly that kind of insight. But the key is useful. It has to be useful. Don't waste mental space on things that don't actually impact your life, your health, work, relationships, finances, growth. Smart people are selective.
So an actionable tip: how do you make this stick?
Keep it simple. A notebook, maybe a digital file. Write the fact down, but in your own words. That act of rephrasing helps lock it in.
Encoding it.
Right. Then, crucially, think. How could I apply this? If you learn, say, water improves concentration, don't just know it. Drink more water that afternoon. It gives you that little win, that sense of progress, builds momentum. It's about self-respect, valuing your mind.
I like that, making knowledge active right away. Thinking application. It's not just passive collecting. Okay, beyond just getting facts in, how we process them matters hugely. Which leads to habit 2, sharpening your thinking daily by asking better questions. Sounds basic, maybe, But the quality of your internal questions, that really shapes everything.
You absolutely nailed it there. Think of your brain like a search engine. The results you get depend entirely on the query you put in. If you're always asking weak questions, kind of victim-y questions like, why me? Or when will this get easier?
Yeah, we all do that sometimes.
We do, but the brain just serves up answers that confirm the frustration, the helplessness. It's like a cognitive trap. The people who are, let's say, intellectually agile, they ask different questions, stronger questions. What can I do today to improve this? Or what's the lesson in this mistake? Or even, does this choice line up with my long-term goals? These questions shift your focus. They lead to useful answers, empowering ones.
And that must massively impact decisions.
Oh, profoundly. Before making a choice, try asking, what are the likely long-term effects here?
Yeah.
Or is this moving me closer to where I want to be? Or is it just easy right now?
Yep.
It cuts through impulse, brings clarity, makes decisions more solid.
And you can apply this everywhere, right? Relationships, health.
Absolutely. Relationships, instead of why don't they get me, try how can I explain myself better or understand them better? Health. Forget, why can't I lose weight? Ask, what specific habit is holding me back? Finances. Ditch. Why isn't there enough money? Ask, what skill could I build to earn more? Just reframing the question changes your whole approach from complaining to problem solving.
It's like turning the spotlight onto solutions instead of problems.
Exactly. And it boosts learning, too. When you read something, don't just absorb. Ask, how does this apply to me? What's the core idea? How can I use this today? When you meet successful people, ask yourself, what do they do differently? What habits can I borrow? Your brain focuses where you direct it. Strategic questions point it towards growth. It even works subconsciously sometimes, and it makes conversations better, too. Ask deeper questions. What inspired you? What's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Yeah, much better than small talk. Shows you actually care.
It does. So for an actionable tip, just start noticing your questions, your internal chatter. When you feel stuck or frustrated, what are you asking yourself? Are they empowering questions? If not, consciously flip them. Instead of, why am I so unlucky? Try, what's one action I can take right now? Maybe make it a daily thing. Write down 3 guiding questions in the morning. Check in at night. This Build Resilience challenge has become chances to get stronger. And it fuels innovation, always looking for better ways.
That reframing, turning that inner critic into an inner coach almost. That sounds incredibly powerful. Okay, so we've gathered facts, we've asked better questions to process them. But for real growth, knowledge needs to, stick. It can't just vanish after a few days. So how do we actually retain what we learn? This brings us to habit 3, strengthening your memory daily by recalling what you learned.
Yes, this is absolutely crucial. Real, lasting cognitive change isn't just about input. It's forged when you actively retrieve what you've learned. The sad truth is, most people forget a huge chunk of what they consume within days. You read it, you hear it, then poof.
The forgetting curve.
Exactly. Ebbinghaus showed us that years ago. People collect info but don't really retain it. But the key insight is, memory isn't some fixed gift you either have or don't. It's a skill, like a muscle. You can train it, strengthen it with practice.
So how do we train it?
Psychologically, the brain strengthens connections through repetition, sure, but retrieval practice is way more powerful. The testing effect. When you force yourself to recall something without looking at your notes, your brain has to work harder. It rebuilds those neural pathways. That effort is what locks information into long-term storage. Smart people, you find, build this in naturally. They pause after learning. They ask themselves, okay, what did I just learn? Can I explain the main points? That little pause is memory training.
So simple practices could make a difference.
Huge difference. After reading a chapter, close the book, scribble down 3 main takeaways. After a talk or, a deep dive like this one, tell yourself out loud what the key points were. Watched a documentary, summarize the big ideas in a journal. These aren't massive time commitments, but they separate fleeting understanding from knowledge that actually sticks.
And that must boost confidence too, right? Being able to recall things clearly.
Definitely. Knowing you can pull up facts or arguments when needed instead of feeling unsure, that builds real intellectual confidence. And connecting emotionally helps too. Ask, why does this matter to me? How will this help my life? That relevance tells your brain, this is important, keep it. Spaced repetition is another great technique. Revisit ideas after a day, then a week, then a month. Each recall strengthens the memory.
Okay, so an actionable tip for daily recall.
Make it a ritual. End of the day, 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what did I learn today that I really want to remember? Say it out loud or write it down. Then tomorrow, quick recall of yesterday's learning too. It compounds.
Stacking it onto another habit could work.
Perfect. Attach it to brushing your teeth, your commute, waiting in line. A strong memory isn't just for remembering facts. It helps you make better decisions under pressure because you have more to draw on. And it fuels creativity, more raw material for your brain to mix and match.
That idea of memory as a trainable skill is so empowering. It puts us back in the driver's seat. Okay, we've learned, questioned, remembered, but knowledge just sitting there isn't the end goal, is it? This is where it gets really interesting, I think. Upgrading your wisdom daily by applying what you learn.
Absolutely. This is the bridge, the journey from knowing to being. Learning is powerful, no doubt, but real life change, that comes from applying what you know consistently, daily. In the real world, so many people are great collectors of information, bookshelves full, podcasts subscribed.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
We all are. But they don't take that next vital step, translating knowledge into action. Wise people constantly ask, okay, what can I do with this today? How can I live this lesson out? That daily application turns abstract info into tangible, lived wisdom.
Can you give an example of that difference?
Sure. Think about patience. You can study patience, understand it intellectually, that's knowledge. But actually being patient when someone's pushing your buttons, that's applying it. That's wisdom being built.
Yeah.
Or financial responsibility. Reading about it versus actually investing that money instead of spending it impulsively. Knowing health is important versus actually exercising and eating well today. That's the gap wisdom fills.
And doing it daily must compound.
Massively. Each day you apply something, you're not just learning. You're becoming slightly stronger, more disciplined, wiser. Over a year, you haven't just learned 365 things. You've lived 365 applications. And that shows. It shows in your character, your choices.
So the actionable tip here, how do we make application a daily thing?
Intentionally slow down. Just for a moment each day, ask yourself, what's one lesson I learned recently that I can put into practice today? And the action doesn't have to be huge. Maybe you learned about gratitude, so it takes 60 seconds to feel thankful for 3 specific things. Maybe you learned about active listening, so in your next conversation, really focus, put your phone away. Each small act wires it in. It makes you more integrated.
It builds self-trust too, right?
Yeah.
I follow through on what I learn.
Exactly. You prove to yourself you can be trusted to act on insights. And it gives you real-world feedback. What actually works for you? Simplifies growth one lesson at a time, less overwhelm. Philosophically, you could say it builds humility. Wisdom is in the doing, not just knowing. And resilience. Mistakes become data points, not failures, when you're focused on application and learning. Over years, this consistent application creates huge transformation, healthier, wealthier, more focused. And sharing these applied lessons, that reinforces them for you and helps others too.
Maybe keep a journal for this too.
Fantastic idea, an application journal. Log the lesson, how you applied it, reviewing that. Immensely motivating. See your wisdom grow.
Wow. What an incredible framework we've built up today. Really unpacking the structure of a sharper, wiser mind. We've covered training your brain daily with that one useful fact.
Sharpening thinking with better questions. Strengthening memory through active recall. And maybe most importantly, upgrading wisdom through daily, consistent application. It all ties together to really transform how you operate, your intelligence, your potential, It's not set in stone. It's not fixed. It's dynamic, it's alive, and it's shaped by these daily habits, the choices you make. Just pause and really imagine. Who could you become in a year, 5 years? If you committed to these practices consistently, you'd evolve. You'd become that person others look to for insight, for guidance, not by magic, but because you made the daily choice to feed your brain, respect your mind, and commit to that continuous progress. The path is pretty clear, really. And the choice, well, it's always yours. So what's one habit you can start, maybe even today, to build that smarter life and shape a stronger, wiser future? Thank you for diving deep with us today.